You a hoe. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm sure you guys have never seen. It hasn't been all over your recommended and no YouTubers have done it. No, but in all seriousness, I had to jump on this bandwagon of this tag, trend, whatever you want to call it, of people assume stuff about me or my Instagram followers. So I asked you guys on Instagram to assume whatever you wanted, essentially judge, roast me, whatever. And I am going to react to them, slash answer them, slash set the record straight in this video. I peeked at a few of them because I wanted to gather the ones that were most commonly assumed. And a lot of you guys got a lot of things right and then a lot of things wrong. But I was surprised at some of the things you guys assumed about me. So this should be fun. You're shy. You're more of an introvert. You are super shy. I feel like it's very obvious to tell that I'm a shy person in my videos, and I feel like I've mentioned it before. If you've been with me for a very long time, you can see my progression of shyness. If you go back into my videos, I'm very soft-spoken, I'm very quiet, and like, yeah, and now I feel like I'm much more comfortable in front of the camera, but camera or not, new people, I am very, very shy. But definitely if I'm with my friends, I'm not shy at all. It just depends when you get to know me. You've never had body image issues, you don't have body issues, you were always self-confident, those sorts of things. So that is not true. I definitely have and still have body image issues, but more so probably when I was younger. So a little bit of a backstory. I mean, I started YouTube when I was like 19 or 20. So you guys saw me when I was out of high school already and I was in college. But when I was a lot younger, I was very, very petite. And I mean teeny tiny, undeveloped, very young looking person. So I was just so tiny and I never really thought anything of it until my freshman year of high school because of this one thing that happened. I was excited because I like had a crush and I was like, oh my god, I really like this boy. And I have a really good guy friend who he's still one of my good friends to this day, but he was kind of like in with that group of guys. And I remember telling him like, oh, I have a crush on this guy. And he was like, oh, let me like find out if he's into you type of thing or like whatever. So I was like, okay. And I remember him coming back and he was like just straight up honest, and it's not like he was trying to hurt my feelings. I don't think he thought it would, but it did. But basically all the guys pretty much in my grade were basically saying like, Tess is too small. We'll probably like her senior year when she fills out because she's like too little. And I remember being like heartbroken because as a freshman, first of all, senior year feels like forever away. And I remember that moment I looked at my body and I hated it. All I wanted boobs. I wanted to be like curvy. I wanted to feel like a girl that like guys were attracted to, essentially, because freshman year I was told that I wasn't good enough, my body wasn't good enough, and I was too small, and guys wouldn't like me until that changed, which is horrible. But I remember feeling so shitty, and that was probably the worst. And I remember trying everything to gain weight, and it was just a nightmare. When you were a teen, you really liked to party. False. This is a funny story that my friend Alexandra and I could tell you. We were very much against drinking in high school. We wanted nothing to do with it, probably until like later, like pretty much high school graduation is when we went to like an actual party with alcohol. And yeah, we were just like, this is not our scene. You are the mom of your friend group. And this is not true with my female friend group, but with Pat's male friends, I definitely am. I actually lived with 3 guys in college, one of them being Pat. I moved in with him and his 2 guy roommates when all my friends moved out and I needed a place to live before we moved to New York. And I developed the nickname Mom really, really quick. I was just kind of like the mom of the household. I was older and I'd always be like cooking dinner and like making sure they weren't like too crazy and like making sure everyone was okay. So yeah, it's kind of an ongoing joke to this day that even some of Pat's friends from Minnesota still call me Mom. A lot of you guys are assuming that I was popular in high school. Somebody even said, you are popular, kind of bitchy. No offense, girl in high school, which I find so funny because definitely not. I mean, I just got done telling you that long story of me in freshman year, but hear me out. So I have seen a couple of these videos where people say they don't really have popular kids, and I feel like that's not entirely true. I feel like every high school has maybe not the stereotypical popular girls that like bully people, or popular guys that bully people, but we definitely had like a group of kids that you just knew were like the popular crowd. They hung out with always like the older grades, and they were going to the parties and things like that. I was definitely not an outcast, but thinking about that group, I was not friends with that group. In fact, it was actually funny because how I met my really good friend to this day, but best friend in high school, Alexandra, who she's in my wedding party. She's one of my bridesmaids, so you guys will meet her, but I actually met her because I was eating lunch in the hallway my freshman year. Freshman year was rough for me, dang. But yeah, I was eating lunch in the hallway, and it sounds so cliche. Sorry, there's a siren, I'm gonna let it pass. And my friend Alexandra dropped her earring, and it fell on in the hallway, and it literally fell by me, and I grabbed it and I was like, oh, your earring. And she's like, if you know Alexandra, she's just like, oh my god, thanks. And she's just like the nicest person ever. And she was like, do you want to come sit with us? We're gonna go eat. And I was like, okay. And then those 3 girls that she was walking with, so it was my really good friend Alexandra, Hannah, and Corey. And then we were just like inseparable the rest of high school. You come from a wealthy family, you grew up rich. You come from a rich family, you grew up rich. Okay, no. So we were definitely, I guess if you were to go by a class system, we were middle class. Both of my parents are government employees, or well, my dad's retired now. My mom is a 6th grade teacher. I know actually some of you guys, you viewers, had my mom as a teacher, which I find really funny. I see those comments where you comment her name, but yeah, that's her job. And my dad now is a school bus driver, like the coolest school bus driver ever. But you guys can do the math on that type of income level. We definitely weren't, like when I was growing up, we didn't we didn't not have things, but we weren't like a wealthy family. In fact, it's kind of funny because another one of these assumptions is you've always worked for the things you have and your parents didn't spoil you, which is absolutely true. As soon as I turned 16, literally my mom, she's probably gonna text me after seeing this video and like try to fight it, but on my 16th birthday, my mom's like, you have to go apply for jobs. So I worked at TGI Fridays as a hostess, and then I worked at Outback Steakhouse, and then I worked at a golf course, and I worked like, I was a server at like weddings, and I was working on the bev card, I was a bartender. So yeah, I worked from the day I could legally work. And what's crazy, sorry, someone's honking. If you guys have been watching me for a while, I don't do them too much anymore because I like experimenting with my own style. But a lot of the reason why I even became popular on YouTube was for my Get the Look videos. I did a lot of look for less, and that's why I even, I guess, would consider being good at them, because my parents wouldn't just like go out and buy me new clothes like that. Like I had to almost like come up with it on my own. Like I remember watching High School Musical and I loved Gabriela Montez's outfits, and I was like, I'd run upstairs and I'd go in my closet and literally try to like compile an outfit that looked similar, and I was like, boom. You have a perfect relationship, you and Pat never fight. So this is definitely not true. It actually kind of blows my mind a little bit that people would, I don't know how serious assuming they were, but that we actually wouldn't fight. I know that everything kind of looks perfect on social media. It's one of the worst things about social media is that it definitely is a highlight reel. But at the same time, I'm not gonna post a vlog of us fighting. But I think it's safe to say that almost every couple fights, and it would be crazy if you didn't, because in my opinion, fighting and arguing usually ends with Pat and I becoming a lot closer. We've been together for over 6 years, and if we didn't argue or speak up when something was wrong and argue about it or fight about it, we wouldn't really know each other to our core, and like probably wouldn't last as long, because you don't learn like what makes people tick, how like each other's limits, like what's going on in their head, and if no one's voicing that and you're not arguing and butting heads a little bit, because Pat and I are very opposite personalities, I just feel like you wouldn't learn as much about that person and grow even closer. So yes, we definitely fight, but we're still going strong. Pat was your only boyfriend. And I thought that was interesting because what's crazy is I've been on YouTube for about 7 years and I've been with Pat for a little over 6. So you guys have literally seen me with one guy online, which is crazy because a lot of people I know and watch have had different boyfriends online because it's their life and that's what happens. But he definitely wasn't my only boyfriend. He is my only serious relationship. I mean, I'm marrying the guy, and I've never come close to that with anybody else. You don't like making YouTube videos anymore. Okay, this is not true, first of all. I've been on YouTube for a really long time, and I have had my ups and downs with YouTube, as I feel like a lot of people do with YouTube, and a lot of people do in their own jobs and careers, regular jobs, not YouTube jobs. I feel like I've never really voiced certain frustrations that I have with the creative process of YouTube before, because I don't want to be another one of the YouTubers that comes on and like complains about YouTube, because if I'm all honest, like, we have the best jobs ever. We have so many things that we get to accomplish and do because of this job, and to sit and like complain about it is something I could never get myself to do, because literally all of my close friends have normal jobs and like real freaking shitty things in their real jobs that I have never experienced as a YouTuber. And I mean, I get to make my own schedule and I get to be creative in all aspects, and it's awesome, okay? But it's also okay for me to be frustrated at it sometimes and be in a creative rut. And I've never taken a break from YouTube since I started. I think this last year I went through a lot mentally that I never really voiced online, because I'm not the type of person to go online and like have a breakdown. I don't even do that with my friends. It takes a lot for me to do that. Back to the whole shy introverted thing. So the closest I've ever come to taking a break is like not uploading a week or going 2 weeks without a video this past year, and that would be the closest I've come. And so I think when that happens, people might assume that I don't like it anymore, but I actually do. I find the most joy in making videos like my travel diaries. The wedding series is fun for me just for personal reasons. Really well shot lookbooks. And lately I've been in this rut where I feel the most excited about YouTube when I'm traveling, which is probably why you've seen a lot of travel videos from me this year, or this past year. Both Pat and I love it, but it's also our livelihood income, so it's nice for us to separate that sometimes to save certain parts of our relationship or friendships with people. But I still love making YouTube videos, so don't think I'm going anywhere anytime soon. I'm perfectly happy with the way that every video I upload I'm stoked about. So you don't get along with a lot of YouTubers. Okay, so this is not true as far as get along with. I don't have a lot of YouTuber friends, but I think it's pretty obvious. I have Alex, you guys see Alex and Dan, they both obviously do YouTube. But I live in New York. There's not like a ton of YouTubers out here. But also back to the whole like keeping my work life separate. I actually enjoy having friends that don't do YouTube, and that's not me being like I don't want any YouTube friends. It's just that's kind of how it's worked out for so many years. I like being able to separate the two. It keeps me sane, like truly. And I think it's good that way. I don't know, I like it. But there's definitely people online on this platform that I love. I really, every time we're at events, I gravitate towards them. To name a few that are great girls that you should continue supporting if you are Lauren, Laura DIY, and Adeline Morin. They've always been the nicest, sweetest people to me ever. And like I said, I don't know a lot of YouTubers and they're just so kind. But I've also met a ton more that are amazing, and then I've also met a few really not so nice ones. But most of the YouTubers I've met are amazing. It's just that they're all in LA. You seem to be a very observant person. Yes, I am. I am very observant. Back to the shy introverted thing, I love being a fly on the wall. I love just like listening and observing to people and just kind of being quiet for the most part, especially in new situations. I'm a very observant person, and I like to know my surroundings. You are really stubborn, and when you get into fights, you can be a real bitch. Okay, this one's really funny because it's very true. I feel like I can be shy and introverted to a certain extent, but if you cross my friends, you cross my now fiance, like, don't, because I will, and a lot of my friends can attest for this. I am shy, but I have an alter ego sometimes that likes to just pop out. And she can be a bitch, and it's really funny. It's rare, and I pick and choose my battles, but I have many stories from college and now that I could tell you. Maybe I'll do like a mukbang or something. Before this video gets too long, I wanted to end on a really like positive note, because a lot of you guys, as you can see on the screen here, said the most amazing, nice things and made me feel so good. So it's just cool to see that you're writing that about me when you've never actually met me. Most of you guys haven't met me. I know I met a lot of you, but you might not have even met me before, and you're writing such sweet things. And that makes me assume that you guys are really cool, nice people that I would probably hang with. So that made me feel really good, and I wanted to kind of say that I'm really lucky and you guys are really awesome. And not to get all sappy, but I'm really just thankful for some really cool viewers that have stuck by me through a lot of stuff. You all are super awesome, and I thank you guys so much. And if you're new, make sure you stick around. Yeah, that's basically it. I really hope you guys liked it. I had a lot of fun filming it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!